I like to subscribe, do all that. You know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Only Mine. Spoiler alert, let's just get it. So this movie is based on a true story, and every now and then you have people narrating it, including Sergeant John Miller. See, we got this chick named Julie, and apparently she's about to be late for work. But as she's driving to work, she gets stopped by the boys. So apparently at this point, she thinks it's Chief Todd. I guess she's usually getting stopped for shit like this. But apparently it's this new guy on the force named David. She already smitten with this nigga. Already? She was driving too fast, but he lets her off with a warning. So it turns out she actually works at this diner, and she tells him they make the best pie. So he's looking forward to that shit. So then she finally gets to work. She works with this dude named Tommy. Apparently they're best friends. But then all of a sudden she gets a very familiar customer. It's David. He wants some of the pie. The question is, do you want some actual pie, or does he want some of that poo-tang pie? But no, she ends up getting him some lemon meringue pie. Then she makes a date with him on Friday night. He's got that shit-eating grin like he's ready to just clap cheeks, right? And then we have Tommy doing an interview. And like I said before, all these people come throughout the duration of the movie, and they're talking to this random interviewer. And they get their detailed thoughts about Julie and what's going on with David and all that. Next thing you know, they're getting closer. David got her a present. It's like one of those old school ballerina things that sing songs when you open it up. People in the 80s know about that shit. Well, anyway, they go to a little club and hear people strumming guitars and whatnot, you know, just chilling, having a good time. Tommy just happens to be there. He just saying, what's up? Then he starts getting jealous of Tommy for no reason. That right there should tell you, red flag, red flag. She's like, man, I didn't think about him. He cool. Then they get the kissing and all that. Oh, it's so sweet. Narration time with Julie's mom, Karen. She gives her thoughts on the whole situation. Now, you gotta keep in mind, when they're doing this narration part of the story, they're talking about after certain events have occurred. But what events? Because you have to keep watching and find out. So Karen, Julie, and Derek all get together to have dinner. Then we find out it's just her and her mom because apparently her dad passed away. Not exactly sure how he died. Next thing you know, we get to this cabin, and we find out David's been living in this cabin the entire time. So the thing is, after his parents died, he inherited the cabin. But Julie's thinking to herself, how come I haven't seen you up until now? If you've been living out here this whole time. Because apparently he kept himself tucked away. He was messing with some chick named Alicia, and he says they basically didn't end on good terms. Next thing you know, he takes her to the bed and ends up giving her the business. But now that I'm looking at this couple, she looks way younger and he looks way older. I'm not even just talking about face, I'm talking like body-wise and all that shit too. But they never said their ages, so anyway. Next day, she's back at work, job well done. So apparently she comes back home after running errands. What the fuck is Derek already doing here, David? When the hell did he get a key? Apparently he didn't. Mom's not in the house either, so how the hell did he get in? Once again, red flag, red flag. So apparently she had to go to the bank before the bank closed. Then he says something out the blue talking about, I think we need to talk about Tommy. Then he's trying to throw shade on Tommy talking about something about him just don't seem right. He's trying to keep people away from her. Is he becoming obsessed? How the fuck she gonna stay away from Tommy? They work together. And they're best friends. But she known him forever. Why the fuck would she believe what he's talking about? Later on, she goes over to best friend's house. Her best friend, Suzanne, she's about to go on a date. And she's babysitting her daughter, Kim. So while Kim's sleeping, she gets a knock on the door. Here comes David busting in the door. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? He was like, I was trying to call you, didn't answer the phone. She's like, nigga, I told you I was babysitting, yo. So apparently he called her like 10 times. As a matter of fact, he called her mom, and then she called a couple times. So the thing is, she had her phone on silent, probably because she was trying to get Kim to go to sleep. But the point is, once again, David, you already knew she was babysitting. So at this point, you could tell he's very possessive. So he wants her to come with us so he could talk. Suzanne, after her date, comes back down. I was like, what's all this ruckus? Suzanne's like, nah, you gotta go. Fuck out of here. She ain't handling that shit. She ain't selling for none of that shit. And plus, you woke up a kid. Now you definitely gotta go. And then we get to the narrator narrating for Suzanne. And she already knew something was up. She ain't putting up with the bullshit. She a smart one in this movie. So next day, she's just happy that she got flowers from her boo, David. Suzanne's trying to talk her out of this shit. While she's in the bathroom, she hears a familiar song going off. She goes into her room. Her little ballerina gift was going off, and it's got a note in it from David talking about he misses her. Come outside to the back. She goes around looking for him, looks in the shed, but can't find him. All of a sudden, he pops up out of the blue, and he needs to talk. The tension builds between the two. David keeps saying he cares about her, but why'd he pick up that damn rake while he was talking? He just wants to make sure they still together. But as you can see, her face is still questionable about this whole shit, as it should be. So after David leaves, she goes back in the house and talks to her mom. And the realization is almost setting in. She thinks there's something wrong with David. So apparently at the office, somebody called in about him being behind the shed. He's like, what's the deal? What you doing high behind sheds? He comes up with some lame-ass excuse about protecting gardens. Now the thing is, Steve is checking on David to see if he's lying to him, but he's got a connection with David. So the thing is, David's father, before he passed away, was actually in charge of the whole force. And Steve has been looking after him for a while. And man, that shit getting crazy. Then it's narration time with the chief, but we were like, wait a minute, why is his arm in a sling? Guess you'll find that out later on. So just in case you guys forgot, the narration time is in real time. This story actually took place back in 1995. Now, apparently after Julie got off work, she was supposed to pick up Suzanne's kid from daycare. Come to find out Kim's gone missing. Where the hell is she at? But all of a sudden, here comes David to save the day. But wait a minute, nobody called it in yet. How was he already right there? I smell some fuckery in the air. So apparently she was late getting there. But it still doesn't excuse the fact that he was already there, so you already know he was there to check up on Julie. He's very overpossessive with his methods. Overpossessive, damn, I can't even speak shit. So apparently when Julie made the call, Steven was the one that picked up. And Julie tells him to tell David to leave her alone. Then he gets a one-on-one, and he tells David not to see Julie anymore, and that's it. You know damn well that's not gonna sit well with him. Just look at that face, just look at it. He looks crazy. Then we get some narration talking to John again, talking about David. One night she got done with her shift, chilling with Tommy and whatnot. When she gets in the car, she's about to leave. What the hell is this? David popped up again, spewing his garbage about being together. But why is he putting on black gloves? What is this? Talk about you're meant for me and all this other stuff, meanwhile banging on her hood. And then afterwards he leaves. She tells her mom and that shit that got real. So next day apparently somebody hacked her email and it was saying all this bad stuff about David. Then apparently all these messages came out of nowhere, and you know where they're coming from. They come from David talking about some, I'm not going anywhere. This stalker has to be stopped. Then after all that, she goes to work. Then this chick Gail pops up and says, hey, stop talking shit about David. Now why is she important? Cause she works at the police station too, and she got a thing for David. But she still wants to buy coffees and shit. Then after work, she's more concerned about David and all this stuff. Tommy said, look, man, if you need it, I got the shotgun pump in my car right now. Take that shit, go handle business. She said, nah, don't even worry about that, though. She gonna handle it her way. So what she decides to do is call the DMV so she can find some records of somebody. So she drives, and whose house does she go to? She goes to Alicia's house, David's ex-girlfriend. She's looking for help, but Alicia's like, nah, fuck that shit. I ain't getting involved in that shit. She gonna mess around, come after me. So that wasn't any help. Then all of a sudden, a truck comes out of nowhere and tries to ram her off the road. And it was David the whole time. What the heck, you trying to kill her? So David gets her in the car, and he's always wanted to take her to the spot that he never got to. She sees these two boys on the side, and she's trying to mouth to them, help me. They see her, but what do they do about it? They get to the spot, it's real pretty, it's like a lot of mountains. But it looks ominous, I mean you did try to run her off the road. This is gonna be a burial spot. Then she pretends like she really enjoyed this spot. You already know what it is, self-preservation. Now while he's talking, looking out in the mountains, she's like slowly backing up. And right here I'm thinking to myself, he should have pushed this motherfucker off the cliff. But instead she took the chance to run away. Next thing you know, he starts shooting at her. She ends up getting hit with 2 shots, one to the side and one to the side of the head. I'm like, damn, is she done deal that as shit? The thing is, he didn't make sure, he just left her there. Narration from Mama again, because we needed it. And we're thinking to ourselves at this point, is Julie really dead? But it turns out she's not. She's still alive. This is when John Miller finally becomes a part of the investigation of a disappearance of a lady. Later on they get to talking, and they get to talking about David. The thing is, David's got an alibi, because Gail says she was with him that night. Gail is a co-conspirator conspirator. Meanwhile, we see Julie struggling to get up. Then she passes out, but then she hears her mom's voice, and she gets up again. Like her mom's not with her physically, but you know, spiritually and whatnot, and all that good shit. And then we see David's been giving Gail the business. She's all on his wheels and everything. Now the funny thing is, she covered for David, but the thing is, she doesn't even know where he was at on Friday. So he comes up with some bullshit like, you don't trust me? Anyway, I was getting you a surprise or something like that. But he really ain't getting shit. She's like, don't even worry about it. I'll surprise you. She about to go downtown to get some more business once again. Next thing you know, we go back to the office, and Karen is still trying to look for her daughter. John said he's doing everything he can. We gotta get to the bottom of this. And people around the corner, David heard everything. They getting close on you, son. So David goes back to the scene of the crime. Turns out she gone. She ain't laying there no more. Now this is wrong, but I'm thinking to myself, if I am a character like David, why wouldn't you just make sure she was dead or try to bury her? If this wasn't based on a true story, it would seem like the proverbial Lifetime movie. You know, that comes on the Lifetime channel. Then again, I wouldn't be surprised if this came from the Lifetime channel. When he goes back to his car, John's out there too doing his own investigation. So apparently his cabin is not that far away from this location. So the boys that saw that day come into the police station to get a testimony. Unfortunately, they gave this information to Gail, so you know it wasn't getting anywhere. Steven didn't find out till the last minute. He goes to knock on David's door. He ain't home. Did this nigga escape? But then John gets some information, and where does he go? He goes to Alicia's house. She was skeptical at first because she was thinking to herself David might come after her. But then she said, fuck all that. Hey, yo, David's got a cabin out here. So you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna go to the cabin. Meanwhile, David's at the cabin. He's talking to Gail. While it's going on, we hear a familiar jukebox sound. You know what that sound is. The ballerina box. Julie's got to be somewhere around here. Next thing you know, he gets smacked with a fucking rake. Symbolism, nigga. You got your ass clawed. All of a sudden, Stevenson gets to the house. He tries to figure out if David's innocent or not. But you gotta come with him. All of a sudden, David gets his gun and shoots Stevens and what all the fuck? Then he goes back in the house to look for Julie. Yeah. So what's gonna happen right here? Julie gets a drop on, stabs him in his fucking neck. He's struggling, he drops the gun. She back ready to fuck shit up. She gets the musket, tries to bang off on him, but unfortunately it doesn't have no bullets in it. So I'm thinking to myself, get the gun that's still on the ground. But instead she ends up stabbing him with the musket. Done deal, dead as shit. Then we find out Steven is still alive, and he calls it in. John's riding the car with Karen. Karen meets his daughter. She finds her alive. Celebration. So apparently she really shouldn't have survived after this, because after she got shot, she was out there in the woods for like 3 days straight. Shit crazy, right? So the facts they give us after the movie was ordered, this took place in 1995 when she was kidnapped, all this stuff. But the crazy thing is, David somehow managed to survive, and he's been in prison all this time, even up till now. How the fuck did he survive a musket to the damn heart? Well, there you have it. Only Mine on Netflix. Check it out. Like, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's easy, easy, best. Big. You got that slogan.